Hello, everybody. I'm a practicing therapist and a doctoral student of psychology. Today, I want to talk about why avoidants go quiet before seeing you in person. This was requested. I did see your comment. I actually don't even know if I responded. I was really busy that moment. I was actually in the middle of doing I did see the comment, but I was in the middle of doing something regarding my PhD in research. But I did see it. I don't remember if I commented, but yeah, I heard you, and this is the video you asked for. So why avoidants go quiet before seeing you in person? The main point we need to understand is for this particular video, it's usually that they still do see you in person. However, sometimes the fear is so strong they actually might not go through with it, and we're going to talk about it today. The first one is actually managing the pressure that they feel. When you guys plan to see each other, often one of the first feelings that they have is not excitement to see you. It's pressure to show up with perhaps what your expectations will be. And so, for example, let's say you plan to meet Friday for a date. Let's just put it pretty typical. Maybe even just hanging out, whatever it is, but it's something that is maybe greater than the amount of how you guys are hanging out. So you guys are typically texting, you guys are maybe on phone calls, but hanging out outside of whatever that scenario typically is means that there's going to be pressure for whatever reason, expectations from your side. And even if you don't realize it, it's going to happen. And a way to manage this and reduce this on their side, if you are an avoidant who feels this way, understand that regardless of whatever you're feeling, it's likely more in your head than the reality of it. Honestly, just like how I don't know if you guys are familiar with behavior activation, right? Where it's when you're feeling depressed, sometimes the first step is just to do a little bit of a small version of the step. So let's say putting dishes in the dishwasher. Just put one plate in the dishwasher, and then eventually you're going to feel it wasn't that bad. Let me go ahead and keep putting more. So really the first step is, I know it sounds really boring, the most unclinical way is just do it, right? The clinical version is behavior activation, but that's what you do if you're the avoidant. If you're not the avoidant, what you can do is make the activity not so pressuring. A high stakes activity might be a vacation. A medium to high stake activity might be like an expensive or nice date. A lower stake activity might be to go to the park together. The lowest stake activity, which I actually don't recommend, is doing something together while with other people, so like a group. And the reason I don't recommend that one is because that can seem a little bit friendly. And I've had some calls with you guys where you're like, oh, maybe I could invite them out to like a friendly situation with me and my other friends, and they can bring their friends. And if you've had a call with me, you know I typically say don't do that. You don't want it to be where, unless you really feel like that's the only option, then yes, possibly. But the reason why that can make it challenging is because it actually makes the pressure for you guys to be together in person more overwhelming. Because they're only familiar with you in a certain setting, and you're going to act a little different in this certain setting. They might get certain ideas, they might feel uncomfortable, they might be afraid, but if you actually meet them in person, they might get a more comfortable idea of you in whatever fashion, the real version of you. It's not going to always show up in a non-intimate setting like that. And so if possible, try to do it just one-on-one, okay? The next one is the reason that they go quiet before seeing you in person is they're actually managing their expectations. And so what do I mean by managing their expectations? They're going to have expectations of you too. And a lot of avoidants may have expectations that they know can push you away, or they might even be aware of their own strategies. Example being, they expect you to be, I don't know, maybe they expect you to be really personable, really understanding, and they know that that's probably not the best expectation for you. Like, it's unfair. It's putting you in a tricky situation. They're managing those things because a lot of them know they struggle with certain expectations. A lot of them do. It doesn't matter about the gender. Female or male avoidants do this. It's a little more common with dismissive avoidants, but a lot of them have incredibly high expectations that are not actually expectations. They're just trying to set a boundary so that they can push you away, push people away. It's not even you. And so they're trying to manage those expectations. Now, the third one is the most common one. And this is the one that I think you guys get really mixed up on. Being honest with you, this is the one that I've seen the most in the calls I've had with you. And if you want to call with me, it's pinned in the comments. I don't remember if I told you that. Sometimes I forget to do that. But anyways, they switch into, I'm going to say like logistic mode. Basically, the best way to put it is because they've secured the date with you. It's off their checklist, and so now they're focusing on other things. They don't need to text you as more often. They don't need to be as vulnerable because they already, I'm not saying they already got you. That's not what I'm saying. Their checklist is like, let's just say, communicate with you, work, errands, gym, whatever it is. But now they've already got something with you, so they checked off that communicating with you. They're not realizing they need to communicate with you even up to that point. They feel like, okay, I already did that. I'm good. Let me go ahead and focus on work, errands, gym, hanging out with my buddies, whatever their thing is. They're focusing on that, but they do typically, this one, they do show up to the date. But you might get really, really anxious about this. So just keep that in mind. Allow them to have their distance and space, because sometimes it helps if you show that you're being warm towards them and you're letting them do their thing. They actually feel more trusting towards you. So this is a good one to understand, because it'll help you not be so anxious or worried, okay? The next one is another common one. They realize they can't make the commitment right now, and they're processing how to tell you. This one is disappointing, and this one is the one that a lot of you guys have a lot of trouble with how to react or what to do next. So let's talk about it. Often they feel pretty pressured. It has nothing to do with you. I promise. It's not that I'm trying to comfort you. I'm being completely and genuinely honest. If anyone has been an avoidant, I used to be, this feeling is really hard to describe. It has absolutely nothing to do with you. It has to do with the fact that I guess I'll say it like this, and I've changed, so please don't come down my throat and say that I'm a bad person. I changed. I'm not like this anymore. But back then, what I would do is I would think, I was confident, and I thought, okay, I can make this commitment. It was like in the moment, like I was feeling maybe positive or whatever. And so I made a commitment that I realized it wasn't actually something that I could follow through when I'm in my default state. So if I'm in like a good mood, or I'm doing a lot of things, like maybe I'm doing a presentation, I'm socializing, I'm doing all those things. For me, that makes me feel like, okay, yeah, I can do this. There's nothing wrong with doing a lot of this socialization. And I'm not a very social person, but I'm very, like, I have a lot of connections, I guess. So that could be why I'm thinking of it like this. Like, I know a lot of different connections, probably because my field has a lot of it. But so during that moment, you're thinking, okay, yeah, I can make this. We can hang out at this time. And then once you're out of that like networking mode, you're kind of like, oh, wait, I don't know if I can do that. Maybe I'm not ready, or maybe I put it in the wrong spot, or that time I was planning on doing this. And so they back out of that commitment. But usually what worked for me, and what works for a lot of avoidance, is if you say something like, okay, you don't have to, like, the door's open. If you want to show up, you can. If you don't, you don't. I'm just chilling. Right? Like, you can say something like that. And a lot of times that made me feel like, okay, you're just relaxing. There's no pressure. So if I want to show up, I can. And then usually what happens is, in the spur of the moment, prior to that moment, I just am like, you know what? I don't even mind. I'm going to go. And so I can go hang out with that friend or whoever I felt pressured by. And I know that they're going to be there, but they're not expecting me. So they don't have that expectation. So that's how I used to feel when I was younger and when I wasn't very healed. And a lot of avoidants feel that way. So your response could be, well, let's just say the avoidant says, hey, I'm not really sure if I want to make it. You can say, okay, that's fine. If you want to come over, you know, that's fine. I have no issue with that. I'm just watching TV. I'm just relaxing. I'm just doing my thing. So that is what they might respond to better. They might respond better to. And the last one is